Watch how stupid the claim Keir Starmer just made during Prime Minister's questions, and understand why it matters far more than the media will dare to admit. Because this isn't just about a slip of the tongue. It isn't just about a bad line under pressure. This is about a man who wants to lead Britain, standing at the dispatch box and revealing, for all to see, just how hollow his vision really is. That IT was meant to be one of his better days. A chance to hammer the government on the cost of living, to press the Prime Minister on his failures, to look like a Prime Minister in waiting before a watching nation. But Keir Starmer stood there, papers neatly shuffled, tone carefully measured, and delivered a line so mind-numbingly absurd, so politically tone-deaf, that even the MPs on his own benches exchanged uneasy glances. It was the kind of claim that exposed everything his critics have been saying about him for years to in the middle of a question about immigration. As the Prime Minister pressed him to say how Labour would actually stop the boats and secure Britain's borders, Starmer sneered and proclaimed, without hesitation, that Britain's borders were secure enough already, and that talk of a crisis was nothing but Tory scaremongering. Those words hung in the air for a beat too long. You could feel it in the room. Not because it was bold, but because it was foolish. Secure enough already? This is from the man who claims to understand working-class concerns. This is from the leader of the party that once prided itself on representing the voices of those who feel left behind. This is from the man who spent the last 2 years promising to listen to voters who abandoned Labour in disgust. Secure enough already? Tell that to the residents of Dover who watch boats arrive on their shores almost daily. Tell that to the young families competing for housing, services, and jobs against an uncontrolled flow of migrants while politicians in Westminster debate optics. Tell that to the working-class voters across Britain who made immigration the #1 issue in poll after poll, and were told, yet again, by Keir Starmer, that their concerns don't count. It was a stupid claim, not just because it was wrong, but because it revealed exactly what Starmer really thinks. That the problem isn't the border. The problem is that you care about it. That you, the public, don't understand the nuances. That you need to be reassured, patted on the head, and told to quiet down and let the adults in the room handle it. But that arrogance, that contempt for the people he claims to represent, is exactly why Labour is still struggling to win back trust. Because Keir Starmer has spent years treating politics as a court case. In his mind, every issue is about technicalities, about process, about whether something meets the narrowest legal definition. But politics is not a courtroom. Politics is about people. It is about how people feel, and more importantly, whether they believe you are on their side. And today, in front of hundreds in the chamber and millions watching at home, Starmer showed once again that he is not on your side. He is on the side of the bureaucrats, the think tanks, the editorial boards that sneer at ordinary people as if they were children. That one stupid claim is not just a line to be mocked. It's a window into his mindset. And make no mistake, the Prime Minister seized on it instantly. He didn't even have to work for it. He simply repeated Starmer's words back to him, and the jeers erupted from the benches. Even some Labour MPs couldn't suppress their groans, because they know how it will play. They know that clip will be shared on every platform before the day is over. They know that voters in red wall seats will watch it and shake their heads in disbelief. Secure enough already? At a time when channel crossings hit record highs? Secure enough already? When even EU nations have admitted Britain's asylum system is being gamed? Secure enough already? When communities are crying out for someone, anyone, to acknowledge what they see with their own eyes every single day? Starmer seems incapable of learning the lesson of the past decade. The British people are not stupid. They know when someone is trying to gaslight them. They know when someone is trying to tell them the problem isn't real, that their experiences don't matter. And they have punished politicians for it before. You would think Keir Starmer, the man who watched his party collapse in 2019 precisely because it stopped listening to its base, would understand that. But he doesn't. He still thinks the problem is you. And that is why this claim, this one ridiculous, stupid, dismissive claim, could very well define his leadership, because it proves what so many have long suspected, that Keir Starmer is not a man of conviction. He is not a man with a vision. He is not even a man who understands the country he wants to lead. He is a man of platitudes and process, a man of committees and compromises, A man so afraid of saying anything that might offend the liberal elites that he cannot even speak the plain truth about Britain's borders. And when you cannot even tell the truth, how can you hope to lead? The laughter that rippled through the chamber today was not just mockery of one bad line. It was recognition. Recognition that the emperor has no clothes. That the man who styles himself as serious and competent is, in fact, unserious and out of touch. And the most dangerous part for Labour is this. The voters saw it too. For years, they have been waiting to see if Starmer could be anything more than an empty suit. For years, they have been waiting to see if he could show some fire, some courage, some willingness to take their side, not just in words, but in deeds. And today, he failed that test. You can feel it now. The frustration was growing even on his own benches. The whispers are getting louder. The doubts hardening into convictions. Because when you're running to be prime minister, you don't just need to avoid mistakes. You need to show you have the strength to lead. And today, Keir Starmer showed the opposite. He showed weakness. He showed cowardice. He showed disdain for the very people he needs to win. And if he doesn't change, if he keeps dismissing the concerns of ordinary people as Tory scaremongering, then he is on course to lose again. Britain deserves better than this. Britain deserves a leader who will look them in the eye and say, yes, you are right to be concerned. Yes, your experiences are real. Yes, I will fight for you. Keir Starmer could have been that leader. But with one stupid, foolish, revealing claim, he reminded everyone why he is not. And the people will not forget.